Howdy folks, my name is Richie, aka Bog Otter, and I'm here with my very first official Q&A video. This is going to be a new series I hope to do every few weeks or so, and I was trying to think of a name for it besides just like the Q&A. So if you have any catchy ideas, maybe incorporate otters or bog otters or something that, would be a catchy name for a Q&A series, let me know in the comments below, and maybe I'll pick it to be used, because just calling it the Q&A sounds a little boring. So anyway, I launched my Patreon campaign a few weeks ago. If you don't know what that is, check in the description below, click the link, watch the video. And but one of the rewards for people who become patrons of mine are they can ask questions in special Q&A videos like this, and I will answer them. One of the other rewards for the people that are very generous and become sea otters is that I give you a shout out once a month in a video, and also help you promote a website or a YouTube channel or a blog or something like that. And I do have one very generous individual by the name of Falco, who is my first sea otter, and this is his shout out. So thank you very much, Mr. Falco. He has a YouTube channel called Top Hats and Champagne, and I'm going to put some footage up on the screen here from one of his videos. And yeah, he's got a channel that's just starting out. He just launched it fairly recently. It is a gaming-related channel, but it is unlike anything I've seen on the internet so far. They are little skits. He puts a lot of production into them. He has costumes. He does. He's got a cool green screen effect. He does animations. He writes scripts, and he's tackled some funny and controversial topics like PC gaming as the master race, and he pokes fun at handheld gamers and console gamers.
Some of the lesser derpists evolved into console gamers and went to live in the jungle of cluelessness to carve out their evolutionary niche in those hostile surroundings.
It's very creative what he does with these skits. He kind of reenacts. He puts gaming twists on like movies like Casablanca, and I don't know. You got to check it out. It's a little bit indescribable. I haven't seen many videos of this type before, but he puts a lot of work into it, and I encourage you to go over there and check it out. I'd appreciate it very much. Thank you, Falco, for your support. And now on to the questions from my Patreon patrons. There are only a couple questions this time, but I figured, we could start off short and sweet. So my first question comes from Hans Brigman, who asked, with WildStar coming out soon, Guild Wars 2 doing some massive changes in the next few weeks, and Hearthstone in full swing, what game are you looking forward to be playing the most in the next few months? It's such a good time to be a gamer. It is. I feel it's weird. I think back to like when I was much, much younger, before the age of the internet. Like I would have these gaming subscription magazines, or I'd go to the stores to look for new games, and you would have these gaps of time where you were waiting for a new game to come out in a genre that interests you, right? I was primarily into like role-playing games and fantasy games and stuff like that, and sometimes there just wasn't anything new for a while. I've felt, especially the last like 3 or 4 years, just there's constantly a ton of backlog games that I've either purchased or I'm looking forward to, but I just can't get to them all. So now is certainly one of those times. So I would say currently, with WildStar betas only being on the weekends, and Guild Wars 2 not really having a lot of new content recently, I am excited about the feature patch. I've done a lot of Tyria talks about that. But even with the new features that are coming into Guild Wars 2, there's not a lot of content that's coming with it. Sure, you're going to have the new like reward paths, and you're going to have new skills to new traits to unlock and stuff like that. But in general, it's not a lot of juicy content to grab onto. So right now, if I'm not recording and making videos and stuff, I just want to relax, Hearthstone is my go-to game. That's the game I'm currently having the most fun with, just from a fun standpoint. And it's great for my life because I can just pick up the game and play it in 10-15 minutes, and then like go run and separate my kids from destroying my house or whatever, like, so the little bite-sized chunks of time that I have is perfect for Hearthstone, whereas you can't really like run a dungeon in Guild Wars 2 or anything like that. I've also been playing some Diablo 3 since the expansion came out. That's been fun. I found that, it was really fun for the first week, and my interest is, kind of waning a little bit. But I still like to jump in. That's a good go-to game if you have friends to hang out with and stuff like that. I'd say long term, once WildStar launches, that'll probably get the lion's share of my time for a while we level up. I still want to get into a raiding guild and spend a lot of time on that. So I definitely plan on playing a lot of WildStar when that comes out. And you know what? Guild Wars 2 is continue. I love that game. I still play it every week with my guild. We run guild missions. I'm actually playing with one of my real life friends right now. She's leveling up brand new characters, never played the game really before, so I've been doing that. And I still look forward to jumping into Guild Wars 2 every time they come out with a new patch and checking out what's new and going for those achievements and unlocking different wardrobe items. So I see Guild Wars 2 as a game that it will be with me for a long time. It just probably won't get the lion's share of my gaming time once WildStar comes out. So yeah, I'm excited by a lot of things. Let's see any other games. I am looking forward to Dragon Age 3 when that comes out, I guess in the fall or so. I want to check out Heroes of the Storm, the Blizzard MOBA game, when if I ever get an invite to the alpha right now. So I'm definitely interested in that as well. And yeah, there's probably some single player games. I still keep mentioning this, but I want to play BioShock Infinite. I want to finish Banner Saga. I'm partway through like Witcher 2 and Batman Arkham City. I've like barely scratched the surface of those two games. I don't know. There's too many games. I need more time. More time. All right. So anyway, I think I answered that question. Next up is a question from Arflint, who asks, what are your thoughts on WildStar's Elder Gems that you earn after level 50? And more specifically, having to use them for your amps and ability points just so that your character can be as powerful as it can be before you can start spending them on anything else. So this is a controversial topic that is all over the WildStar forums. And I actually have yet to tackle this topic either on Nexus Talk or in general, but for a couple reasons. One is because I don't have any max level characters in the beta, nor will I ever get close in the beta. So I don't have any personal, experience with this actual problem. Number two is we're still in beta. We're still seeing a lot of changes to WildStar, and this could actually totally change. So I don't want to weigh in on something I don't know much about and then have it just change and it be something that we don't have to worry about. But I will, since you asked, I will kind of, I'll tell you what I know and what are my thoughts based on what I know. But of course, context is everything. I don't have the personal experience with it. So it seems to me that one of the ways that you progress your character is once you hit max level, you continue to you start to earn this max level currency called Elder Gems, and you still can kind of gain experience points and level up. But when you level up, you don't actually go to level 51. You actually start earning, Elder Gems instead. And there's other ways to earn Elder Gems through doing the end game content raiding or doing dungeons and whatnot. So apparently, you have to spend these Elder Gems on amps, which is kind of like your talent point system in WildStar. So there's different amps that you can unlock only when you hit max level by spending these Elder Gems, and I think it takes an absurd amount of time to unlock all of your amps and unlock the full potential of your class. And so people are complaining that, it's going to take a lot of time to unlock all of these, and that it's not really alt friendly. If you want to get another character to max level, well, they could be max level, but unless you spend the time to unlock all of their amps as well, they're not going to be really a full-fledged max level character with all their capabilities. And I've also heard comments from I think some of the PvP community finds it a little bit more difficult to earn these, or slower. So I think in general, if what everybody is saying on the forums is true, that it could take months to unlock your full potential of your character, then yes, I think that that's a little bit too long and probably not a good system. If these amps are truly required to unlock the full potential of your character, and you know what, if they give even a slight advantage, that the hardcore endgame raiders, hardcore endgame PvPers, they're going to want or feel like it's necessary to unlock all of that. So it's probably the type of thing where it needs to be looked at and adjusted, at least how expensive they are or how difficult these things are to find. So I would probably agree that there's a change that kind of needs to happen there, but I can't say anything for sure until I play that part of the game myself. So I won't get there during the betas. Maybe they'll make adjustments to it. And, we'll see how I'll definitely weigh in on it once I hit max level, once the game releases. But, of course, we're talking a couple months from now. So I hope that it kind of answers your question a bit. Now, Inks asked me a very difficult question. And it's off topic. So, by the way, any of my Q&A videos, you can ask me about anything. It doesn't have to be gaming related. So this one asks, what was a favorite TV show of yours that is now canceled, but that you also watched while it was on the air? And that very end condition makes this a very difficult question for me. I don't even know if I have a good answer. I actually looked on several websites to find like which shows were canceled before their time, and turns out I didn't watch like most of those shows. So Firefly comes to mind as a show that everybody wishes was never canceled, and that was canceled before its time. And I would agree, hands down, that show is the most soul-crushing cancellation I've ever experienced. However, I did not watch the show live. I got into Firefly like a lot of people after the show was canceled, and that's part of the reason why it was canceled is not many people knew about it while I was out. So I have the DVDs, I have the movie, and I love that, but I didn't actually watch it while I was in the air. I don't really have a great answer other than that. I watched a little bit of Dollhouse when that was out. I thought it was okay. That got canceled before its time, but a lot of the other ones that made these top 10 lists, I simply didn't watch. There's some question of whether like the Star Trek series, some of them, I watched all the Star Trek series, and there's question whether, that they all fully ran their course or they got canceled. If any of those got canceled before their time, then yes, that would probably make the list. And I did watch all of the Star Treks while they were out on air, except for the original version, of course, from way back. But like Next Generation, Voyager, Deep Space Nine, and Enterprise, I watched all of those. And so maybe one of those would count if they got canceled. Yes, and I even liked Voyager. Actually, Voyager was probably the one I watched most of the episodes of. Probably 90% of the episodes I've seen on that series. So anyway, I don't have a great answer other than maybe the Star Trek, even though Firefly is the one. I tend not to watch shows that I don't know. I watch Walking Dead right now, Game of Thrones, of course. I watch Survivor, which might surprise a lot of people. I have watched every season of Survivor. I think they're on season 27 right now. I've missed one episode of Survivor out of all of those seasons. And that was because I asked my wife to record it, and she failed. But I'm a big fan of Survivor. It was like the granddaddy of the reality shows, right? All of the bad reality TV that's out there kind of spawned from Survivor, but I've stuck to the original show. I love that show. I've applied to be on that show years ago. And but anyway, that's just kind of a tangent topic here. And my last question of the day comes from Ruth, who asks, what is your favorite quote from the Star Trek series, any character, any captain? So it's a Star Trek question. Mine actually comes from a movie, and I hope that counts, but Star Trek Generations, when Data had his emotion chip put in, and he comes out on the deck, and Riker asks him to scan for life forms, and he sings the little song, and he's like, I just love scanning for life forms. Life forms, you tiny little life forms, you precious little light forms. Where are you? That is my favorite line of all of Star Trek. I still quote it sometimes just randomly. And yeah, so that one's always stuck with me. I thought that was hilarious. And also, when they blow up the enemy ship in there and he goes, yes! It's so great seeing him break out of his Data-ness and just having fun with the role. So, because Brent Spiner is a really funny guy, and to see him all reserved in his character for season after season, and then he just gets to break out, has always been hilarious to me. So that's going to wrap up my first Q&A. I hope you enjoyed it. Please hit that like button. And if you want to ask me questions, I'm probably going to have some Q&A videos at some point that are not patron only. If I want to get some more questions in there. But if you want to be featured in the next version of this show, go ahead and sign up for my Patreon page. It's really a way to support the content if you want to see me continue doing the work. And I appreciate every single person who signs up for that. And we get this cool little feed on the Patreon page where I can post, questions to you guys and behind the scenes stuff and polls and stuff like that you can get involved with. And it's been a lot of fun so far. And hopefully it's just the beginning. So that's going to wrap things up, and I hope everybody enjoys their weekend, and I will see you next time. Take care. Goodbye. Goodbye. I don't know what that is. Let's see. Random object. Eyeball.